I think there's probably some of that. Like Bungie has a pretty strong history of like doing things really well in terms of
Yeah.
coding and like features.
Yeah, their game engines are incredible, like are rock solid. Like they run real well on things
Yeah. So
on the platforms that they're coded
and
for.
obviously like more recently it's not it's not Jason Jones just programming.
Well, yeah, I don't think
But-
he has programmed in a million years. I think he
yeah,
was
I
the
think,
lead programmer. We can find
I
out.
think he did some help on like Halo 2 and stuff
Yeah.
because of the situation.
Oh, yeah, I
It's
remember that. Why is it? Oh, that's just like that button. Programming: Jason Jones, Ryan Martell, and Alan Roy. These are all the people that
Damage
worked
and
on this
spin.
game, and it's less people than it looks like because a bunch of them occur a bunch of times.
Yeah. It was like 4-5 people.
Art director and graphics: J. Reginald DeJour. Alex Seropian, music and sounds. Greg Kirkpatrick did scenario design. Story, Greg Kirkpatrick. It's pretty dope that this game has a story credit.
Yeah.
I would like to know how many games by this point, during this year, had a story credit.
Yeah.
Because I bet it
haven't
was
like
almost none.
I haven't really looked
Marathon's
the
creators,
credits,
1994.
like I know that Dark Souls has some of that.
Has
With like Frog Nation credited. I think it's
Why are you talking about Dark Souls? Dark Souls is like well into the time period where story is credited in games.
oh yeah.
What are you
I thought
talking
you meant I thought you were talking about like now.
No, like every game has that now. 1994. How many games up until 1994 it had a story credit? Look at this. Also, look at this design. This is like some good graphic design right here.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, it's basically like almost modern. Like this is like what it would be now. Like just like flat colors and stuff.
Yeah.
Simple fonts. That's like what the thing is right now.
It's kind of Star Trek-y.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of it is very Star Trek-y. I'm sure they were watching the shit out of some TNG at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure they were deep into that TNG life. Yeah, I really like this game.
I'm enjoying it a lot now that I'm watching.
Aleph 1 was all of these dudes.
Yeah. That's how many dudes it takes to remake Marathon.
To port Marathon. Aleph 1 has no warranty. GPL says that all the time for some reason.
If you fuck up your computer running this program, don't come crying to us.
It's based on the source code to Marathon 2 and Marathon Infinity. Yeah, man. A thing that Chris Perkins said on Twitter the other day was pretty cool. Somebody asked him after like one of the shootings or whatever, do you regret becoming a citizen of the U.S.? Because he's Canadian originally, and he was like, no. If you love something, then its flaws don't matter.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about Marathon, basically. Like it's every time we play something that we really like Marathon or Dark Souls or whatever, we rediscover the things that are bad about them. Marathon has basically pretty not great level design, in my opinion, in terms of the flow of the levels. They're great in terms of their art, their like artistic appeal or whatever, but in terms of their game feel, just like the way it feels to play them, they're pretty bad. But I love this game anyway.
Yeah.
And Dark Souls has terrible responsiveness in its controls. Like it's one of the worst games I've ever played in terms of that. But it's one of my favorite games I've ever played because of all the other things about it, basically. Yeah.
Like in the middle of it, the flaws seem the worst. Like when you
I mean, actually I wasn't even actually hugely annoyed by Marathon this time. This session. I think getting back into it, when you first start getting back into a game, you're like, oh yeah, I remember all these shitty things about it. But once you like reacclimate to it, you just start to expect it again. And
accepted your fate.
Because like when I played this as a kid, that I just really wanted to like this really badly because of how dope the story was. So I just like powered through it, even though the game was like super hard to me as a little kid. And like the levels were especially hard to figure out because I was so dumb. Like I just didn't have the capacity to reason properly to figure them out or whatever.
Yeah, it was pretty hard.
And I just did anyway because I wanted to experience a story so bad.
Yeah.
And that's an incredible feat, I think, when you can design a game that is straight up frustrating. Like Dark Souls and like Marathon. Dark Souls is that on purpose, and Marathon I think is maybe partially on purpose, but partially accidentally as well. But you just like want to keep playing it because there's so many great things about it. It's so great. It's so fascinating as like an artifact. I'm so glad Bungie released the source code so that it can like. Otherwise, we'd have to play this like in a Mac OS 7 emulator at shitty resolutions and stuff. It's
which
totally
we used
dope.
to do when we were like building.
Because
scenarios.
There's not really any like tools to make maps. For
so we were just running the original tools.
That's what people do. So people still make maps for these games, and they run the original tools that Bungie shipped with the game to make maps on Mac OS 7 emulators, and then they just port those maps over to
that's what we were doing
to the modern formats, which is pretty
Another
interesting.
person who worked on this game, who's not credited, is Craig Mullins. They contracted, which is pretty cool from my perspective.
I think he's not credited because technically his stuff isn't in this game.
I think there's a couple.
I don't think any of the paintings we've seen so far in the game are Craig Mullins. They're pretty like
he did at least
janky.
He did at least some promotional art.
That's what I'm saying. I think it was all promotional art. I think there's some stuff
might be
in
one or
Marathon
two,
2.
maybe.
So
some of the chapter screens, I'm pretty sure in one of these games.
Yeah,
Is
that's
Craig Mullins?
Marathon 2. It's not
Or
this
Craig
one.
Mullins ones.
Because you remember the ones in this are like crude, like super pixely, like silly art, basically.
Yeah. But he is a fucking incredible illustrator.
Yeah, he's a god.
And Bungie was working with him
Dope art.
Back at this point, and they had him
still
back
do stuff
for
with him.
Marathon or for Myth
And Halo.
and Halo.
We have a Craig Mullins poster up on our wall for Myth.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we're looking at
Soul
Soulblighter
Blighter.
right now.
So, yeah, as a draw guy.
We have two Bungie posters on our walls.
Yeah.
A Myth one and a Destiny one.
It's pretty sweet that they got him. It's some of the coolest.
I will forever be a Bungie fan, no matter what. Like it's like being a Metallica fan through all the bullshit or whatever. Bungie's got me, man. Anything they come out with, I'm gonna buy.
Yeah.
Even they can fire Marty O'Donnell, and that sucks, and I hate that. But Bungie, man, they got my shit. They got all my shit.
They got your poop.
They got my poop.
Taking it.
They got my
Taking it
colon.
away. Anyway,
yeah, we're gonna play some
leave
more
now
Marathon next time.
and
It's
then
great.
play more
It's gonna be good. It's
Marathon.
gonna be great.
Goodbye.
Bye.